Hello, my awesome fourth graders. This week, our project is going to be us practicing the principle of design unity by designing our own cities. Hopefully, you have gone over the PDF that I provided in Edsby already, talking about what unity is and providing examples. Really quick, just in case you haven't looked at the PDF, unity gives art a sense of completeness or wholeness. It ties the art together. For our project, we are going to be practicing unity through repetition. We will be repeating our elements of art, shape and color as we design our city. We are now going to move on to the drawing portion of our project. Now for this video, I'm going to be giving you the basic directions of what I'm looking for in your project. However, again, we're drawing a city, so feel free to get creative, make it your own, add Godzilla, do a superhero, draw people, draw your own shops. It is up to you. For this project, you are going to need whatever drawing materials you want. I'm going to be drawing my city with a Sharpie, and then later on I'll be coloring it with markers. To begin, I need to pick the shapes I'm going to repeat for the shapes of my buildings. I would say do not pick more than 3. I am going to pick 2. And the 2 I'm going to pick are a rectangle and then this kind of like semi-oval kind of shape. It'll make more sense once I start drawing it. So let's begin. So I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to start with just that rectangle shape. Now what I can do and what you can do is you can just continue drawing rectangles or shapes, whatever shape you picked across your paper, but this is an excellent opportunity to practice our overlapping, where one object covers another object to show the illusion of space. So to do that, if I want to draw a building overlapping another building, oh, there's a fly, I'm going to start here on the top of this building and I'm going to make a building taller. So I draw up, over, and all the way down until I hit the bottom of the paper. And then I've just drawn 2 buildings overlapping. And maybe with this next one, this is the oval shape I was talking about. And I'm just going to go across the bottom of my paper. All right, so that's the first layer of buildings. Now with this, you'll notice I spread out my shapes so they're not all clumped together. With unity, you do not want to have only like half your page is rectangles and then your other half of the page is this weird oval shape. You want it kind of spread out to create balance. That creates the cohesion. So now I'm just going to move on to the next level. So there's my next level. I'm not being too perfect about it. I'm not giving it a lot of thought. I'm just kind of randomly thinking rectangle, 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 oval, rectangle, rectangle, oval as I draw it. Again, making sure I'm not drawing through any buildings that I have already drawn below. And now I'm just going to go and I'm going to fill my page with these buildings. I'm going to stop for a second because I'm going to show you how in your city you might want to add something like Godzilla or like, I don't know, whatever your imaginations come up with. I just keep thinking of Godzilla for some reason today. So I'm going to draw Godzilla right here or some kind of dinosaur-esque monster. It's going to be kind of cartoony, but I'm winging it. So I'm going to start up here and I'm just going to all right, his arms came out a little goofy, but you know what? I'm owning it. It is what it is. But see, I have him like hidden in my city. So that's one way you can do it, where these buildings are overlapping him. So it looks like he's in the middle of the city, just causing mayhem. I guess I could draw some like buildings getting destroyed, but I'm keeping mine kind of simple. So I'm going to continue just drawing the rest of my buildings. I can stop right there. That is perfectly fine. Now that we have our buildings, I think that we should add some windows and maybe some doors so you get into those buildings. So just like our shape of the building itself, pick 1 to 2 shapes for the windows, I am just going to do squares and rectangles, again, to keep it nice and simple, but feel free to do circle, triangle, make up your own shape, whatever you want. And we're going to repeat this again to help create that unity and that cohesion and togetherness in our art. And I'm just going to fill up my buildings with windows. I do not have to do every single building. I would say just do maybe half and spread it out. However, I do recommend doing windows on all the buildings right up front. I have now finished doing all the windows on my buildings. You'll notice again I left some blank because, let's be honest here, these are a lot of buildings and I don't have the time for that, and I don't think you have the time for that. So if you are going to choose to do that like I did, you will notice that I kind of spread out those buildings throughout my art of which ones I didn't draw windows in. And you will notice the higher up I got, the more buildings I left without windows, because as things get farther away, we see less and less details like windows. So it's things like that you want to think out. Now I'm going to move on to coloring. With coloring, just like our shapes, we are using color to create unity. So you're going to pick a couple colors, and those are the colors you are going to repeat throughout your city. I would recommend, again, not using more than 3. I would say 4 might be fine, but to keep things simple for you. When you are picking your 3 colors, I'm just gonna go ahead and use 3 as the example. You can think of it like, well, I'll do my 3 primary colors because those are similar colors and they're tied together, so that helps create unity. You could do your 3 secondary colors. You could do your 3 warm or your 3 cool colors. Or if you want, you can be random and do like a 3 marker challenge kind of thing. It is your choice, or just pick your 3 favorite colors. I'm just making a couple of suggestions. And again, I'm using markers. You can use whatever materials you want. I have chosen to use my 3 warm colors. I'm going to go ahead and get started. While I'm coloring, I am making sure to not clump my colors together. I'm making sure that there's a little bit of orange here, a little bit of orange there, a little bit of red or yellow here and there. I don't want them to all be right next to each other. I am now finished coloring all of my buildings. So you'll notice I have left my Godzilla uncolored and my sky uncolored. The reason for that is I want to talk a little bit about it really fast, because you've pretty much finished creating unity. You have whatever colors you've picked, whatever shapes you have picked carried throughout your entire art. So that is done, checked off. Because of that, you do not need to do the same thing for whatever things you have added in your city, mine, Godzilla in this case, and the sky, all right? You don't have to have unity in everything. It just has to be a couple of those elements carried throughout your entire piece of art. So what we can do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to create now the principle of design emphasis, which we learned about in 3rd grade, which is when you make something stand out, you place importance on it, if you remember. If you're at Trapnell, then the project we did with that is we printed our fish, where you had the rubber fish and you guys are like, oh, are those real? I'm like, obviously they're not real. And you had to pick 2 fish, and one you printed multiple times with one color, and the second fish you only printed once with a different color to make that fish stand out. So I'm going to do something very similar with my Godzilla. I'm going to obviously, I guess not obviously, but for me, I'm going to color him green. And then I'm going to go ahead and just traditionally color my sky blue. I'm keeping it pretty standard, but as you know, you are more than welcome to color it differently than me. For all I care, you can do a yellow sky or a purple sky or a rainbow sky, whatever floats your boat. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm not going to do it, but if you want to draw a rainbow in your sky, that sounds pretty cool to me. All right, I'm going to get started. And there you have it. I cannot wait to see what you guys submit and what kind of creative take you have on this project.